my cabinet colleagues and fellow grassroots advisors, grassroots leaders, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join all of you tonight to celebrate 60 years of our Citizens Consultative Committees, or CCCs. As grassroots leaders, I think all of you know we rarely come together dressed up in an event like this here in town, but this is a special occasion because this year we celebrate Singapore's 60th anniversary and also mark 60 years of CCC. So happy SG 60 and happy CCC 60. Of course, the history of CCC goes back even further. It started before independence. During the battle for merger, when Mr. Lee Kuan Yew visited all the constituencies to rally support, community leaders set up welcome committees to organize the visits and to get things done on the ground. Later, when racial riots broke out in 1964, these same community leaders formed goodwill committees, and they played a critical role in calming communal tensions and preserving harmony. And then when Singapore became independent, these committees evolved into the CCCs. Since then, the CCCs have had their hands full, because it's not just organizing activities in every constituency to bring residents together, but it's also working hard to explain government policies and programs to get people to support these policies. For example, when we started out, we had no military of our own and we introduced national service. It was a very difficult policy, but the CCCs went around engaging residents and getting their support, assuring parents and explaining to them what it meant when they sent their sons to serve and defend our nation. Or we needed to house our population and free up land for development, and the CCCs made the effort to persuade Singaporeans to resettle and help them with their housing applications. And over time, as Singapore developed, the CCCs took on new issues in our estates, working with residents to decide what amenities to build and maintaining harmony amongst residents from all walks of life. And today, our CCCs continue to keep a close feel of residents' needs and concerns, provide feedback to the government, and help us update and improve our policies. For example, when we rolled out major policies like the Pioneer Generation Package and CareShield Life, you helped to explain these clearly to residents and convey their feedback to us. During COVID-19, you mobilized the grassroots organizations to distribute essential items to vulnerable groups across the island, and you persuaded residents to get themselves vaccinated. So tonight's gathering is to honor all of you, our CCC leaders past and present. Many of our pioneer CCC members, in other words, those who were involved way back in the welcome and goodwill committees, they have passed on. But some of our early leaders are still with us, and they are here with us tonight. And I had the chance to meet with some of them just now. There's Mr. Pohendran, who is nearly 90. He joined Marine Parade CCC in 1976 and became its chairman 5 years later. He was a stalwart grassroots leader in Marine Parade. I remember him even from my own childhood in Marine Parade. He's always engaging and helping residents, often in 4 languages: English, Malay, Tamil, and good Hokkien too. At the time, Marine Parade did not have its own community center. So he turned the void deck of his block into a gathering place for residents. They called it Desa 43 or Village 43. Of course, over time, Marine Parade developed its own CC, and many of us growing up there benefited. Then there's 85-year-old Mr. Kong Man Kwong, who's also here with us tonight. He recently retired after nearly 4 decades with Tampines Changkat CCC, serving as its chairman from 1986 to 2002. In the 1980s, parts of Tampines were still kampongs. He persuaded the kampong dwellers to move into HDB flats, helping them with the administrative paperwork and easing their transition to a new way of life. And when quarrels broke out over the shared corridors, he helped to mediate patiently and help neighbors forge a common understanding of HDB living, something that all grassroots leaders continue to do today. And there's Madam Sakina in Boon Lay CCC, who's also here. I've known her since I started serving in Boon Lay in 2011. She has been actively involved in many programs for lower-income families and also for their children, organizing packed lunches for them and providing after-school care activities. She takes pride in seeing these children grow up to become responsible members of the community. And to these families, she is more than a grassroots leader. She is their advocate, friend, and guide. CCC leaders like Mr. Pohendran, Mr. Kong, and Madam Sakina have been vital to our nation-building journey, as well as all of you here tonight. You embody the spirit of service that defines our grassroots movement. So tonight, we salute you and all CCC members, past and present. Thank you for your dedication and service. After 60 years, Singapore has come a long way. Our society today is very different. It has been transformed. We are more diverse, our challenges are more complex, and our people's needs are more varied. Singaporeans can access government services with a click and find information at their fingertips. They have many more options for recreation, leisure, and entertainment. So they may not always rely on grassroots leaders as their first channel for assistance, and they may not limit themselves to activities at their community clubs. So our PA grassroots movement and CCCs must continue to evolve to stay relevant. Our underlying purpose remains to serve Singaporeans, to bring people closer together, and to keep our society strong and united. But how we go about this, our approaches and methods have to change with the times. And that's why PA has refreshed its mission, which is now to spark and nurture community participation for a caring and united Singapore. And Deputy Chair Mr. Edwin Tong had elaborated on this at the PA Community Seminar last year. This new mission means we must go beyond organizing activities and events and reimagine our role as facilitators of community participation. To be clear, we must keep alive the spirit of our pioneer leaders, the can-do attitude, the drive to solve problems, and the ability to bring people together. But what's different is that we are not just doing things for Singaporeans anymore, but also doing things with Singaporeans. We are engaging them, and we are empowering them to contribute to our community as well. And as our apex grassroots organizations, the CCCs are best placed to lead this change. I know many of you are trying out new efforts and initiatives. Take Nee Soon South CCC. They realized that caregivers need more emotional and financial support. So they partnered with SG Assist, a social enterprise, to set up a resource center where caregivers can learn, share, and support one another. And they launched an elder care diaper program to ease financial strain of their residents. And they do all this not by themselves, but they work closely with a range of donors and partners to keep these programs going and to bring in more volunteers. Another example is Cheng San CCC. They found that seniors wanted not just activities, but purpose. So they created Project Times 100. It's a wellness program for seniors, but times 100 means they are not just doing these programs for the seniors. They are recruiting seniors to be ambassadors, 100 senior ambassadors to promote healthy living to their peers. They started with 40 last year, and they are now making progress towards their 100 target. And through this network, they will help seniors find meaning, build friendships, and strengthen bonds across the community. Well done to both CCCs. I've just cited 2 examples. I'm sure across all our CCCs there are good examples to highlight, but I just mentioned 2 of them, and I hope that this will motivate and encourage all our CCCs to continue doing your part, to adapt and find better ways to engage residents and drive positive change in our communities. As we go about this work, let's always remember our PA grassroots movement is a tremendous national asset. We have grown the grassroots network enormously over the decades, with now over 2,000 grassroots organizations and 38,000 grassroots volunteers across Singapore. But the effectiveness of our network lies not in the numbers. It lies in how we connect with residents, how we listen, engage, and make them feel like they have a stake in our community. So we must continue to work hard to enhance this network beyond SG60 and ensure it remains effective in nurturing trust and strengthening our social fabric. And let me suggest quickly 3 areas for our CCCs to focus on. First, lead your grassroots organizations and lead them to spark and nurture community participation, which is our refreshed PA mission. In other words, as CCCs, you shouldn't just provide administrative oversight. You can and you must shape how the various organizations under you go about their activities. Provide them with advice, guidance, and direction. And in many ways, rather than just continue with what they are usually doing all the time, following the same pattern, encourage them to experiment, to seek out best practices, to learn from what other constituencies are doing, and try out new models that will better engage and involve our residents. Second, encourage more interactions between our grassroots organizations for greater impact. Every grassroots organization will be focused on its own priorities. Naturally, you've got different groups, your RNs, your MAEC, IAEC, your women's group, your youth groups. All the different organizations will always focus on their own priorities, understandably. But they should not be working in silos, isolated and separately from one another. And the CCCs have a broader vantage point. As the apex body, you can see the bigger picture. You can identify synergies, and you can bring different groups together to collaborate and build a stronger culture of teamwork. For example, when a residents network collaborates with a youth network, you can connect Singaporeans across age and interest groups. And such collaborations can help build bridges across different groups, strengthen mutual understanding, and forge a stronger sense of shared purpose in our community. Third, nurture and strengthen your volunteers. Continue to bring in volunteers from diverse backgrounds. They will contribute new energy and fresh ideas. Help to connect them with different segments of our community. And develop pathways for these new volunteers to grow. Help them take on larger responsibilities, bigger projects, become leaders in their own right. And this will develop a steady pipeline of dedicated grassroots leaders who are committed and ready to serve. All of this transformation, which I've just described, will take effort and imagination. But PA will continue to support all of you. We will invest in strengthening our grassroots leaders, for example, in your community facilitation skills, so you can harness community assets more effectively and rally people around shared causes. From 2026, PA will partner our institutes of higher learning to train 1,000 community facilitators across all constituencies, starting with the CCCs. And we will continue to conduct more leadership programs to support our CCC members and help all of you drive meaningful change in our community. To take Singapore forward, we must be a democracy of deeds, a society where citizens put the we before me, and help one another succeed. As CCC leaders, you exemplify this we first spirit. So continue to lead the way, serve with heart, and bring our fellow citizens together for the common good. In this world of profound change, Singapore will face new and unprecedented challenges. But I am confident that if we continue to stay united, we can overcome these challenges and we can uphold the same spirit of service and solidarity that has brought us this far. Ultimately, as Singaporeans, we all have a stake in this little red dot and a shared responsibility to shape the future of our nation. The grassroots movement remains a vital platform to bring our people together and to enable everyone to give back to the community. So I look forward to working with all of you as CCC leaders to spark greater community participation and to empower more Singaporeans to step forward. Then we can write the next chapter of our Singapore story together and build a better and brighter future for all. Thank you very much.